Finally got a better angle this week. I'm trying to decide if I should leave my hair this crazy or if I should spare you. This is what it looks like when it comes out of a bun. Hey everyone, my name is Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty, and welcome to the 21st episode of the Love and Stitches podcast. Today is Wednesday, June 12th, and I'm excited to be back for another week with you guys. I have been on vacation, and usually on vacation that means a whole lot more knitting and crochet, but this vacation was to Disney World and we were on the go all the time, and so I'm gonna show you what I have. I'm gonna what is it called? Not consolidate or constellate. I'm gonna make up for it by showing you a sneak peek of a design that I'm working on. And yeah, let's just get started and jump right in. And if you're interested in how my Disney trip went, as far as did I get my knitting into the parks? What did I learn? I'm going to share that at the end of the episode. So first, I want to show you the top that I'm wearing. I did totally put this on just to record. If you don't know, it's summer and I'm a teacher, so I've been working on stuff today, but I was wearing a t-shirt and we are actually going somewhere later, so I'll probably keep this on. But this is the Over the Top top by Pearl Soho. It's a free pattern. It's really easy. It's one of those where you like start at the bottom of either the front or the back. You knit it up to the shoulders and then, cast off some stitches for the neck, I don't remember, and then literally keep knitting over the top. It is one of those patterns where the purl side is the outside, and I really, really love the details of this fold over hem, even though I don't particularly remember enjoying doing that fold over hem at the time. Let me stand up for you. I didn't make it super long. I don't know if that was a yarn issue or I was tired of knitting with it. It does have a split at the side, and I don't know if it had any shaping or not. I think it might have had some shaping because it does fit my body really well. My body is pretty narrow here and goes out quite a bit. This yarn is, I think it's Elizabeth Lasold or something. It's called Silky Wool. It used to come in these very like floofy folded over hanks, and now I think it comes a different way, but the label is still the same, and I'll look it up before I post this, and I'll try to put the actual name at the bottom of the screen. But I really do like this. It's got a higher neckline in the back and a little lower in the front, although not revealing in any way. So it's really comfy. I would make it again, except I don't feel like doing a fold over hem, as good as it looks. Okay, so let's start with whips. I have been working on a test knit for Malia, who's Malia Made It. She makes these great bags, and she also dyes yarn, and she's writing patterns now. So the yarn I'm using is one of her self-striping sock yarns, and this one is called Luna Lovegood. And I'm test knitting her sock design. It's called Upsets and Downfalls Socks. So I have finished one sock almost. This is like their coolest little pattern. I decided to do the shorty sock. She has it written for shorties or any length of the leg that you want to do, and several sizes. You can see here that I actually haven't finished the sock because when I was on my trip, I think I was in a situation where I didn't have my darning needle, so I couldn't do the Kitchener. I think we were out somewhere and I wanted to keep knitting, and I had my yarn with me to start the next sock. I just couldn't finish this one. So what I did, and here's a tip for you if you are comfortable picking up stitches, I knit an extra row, another round that I didn't need, because I knew once I slid my needles out that they were gonna fall off. So I only had one set of needles. I guess that's important to know, or I would have just used those. So I knit an extra round, slid my needles out, and just put this in the bag, and haven't gotten back to it. And probably when I do pick it back up, I'll have to knit that final round again, but to me, that's not a big deal. I'm very comfortable doing that. So that was the option that worked best for me at the time. So then I was able to cast on the second one, and I did I hardly knitted at all on this trip. I finished, I don't know where I was because I've been really bad about putting in progress keepers lately, but I think I did, I don't know. I finished this one. It wasn't done when I left and now it's pretty much done. Then I started this one, but I probably just had to like right here when I got on the plane to come home. And then I did all of this on the plane ride home. I did the heel flap, I did the heel turn, I picked up and did the gusset, and it just made it faster to do because I was stuck on a plane. Whereas I knew if I brought that home, it would take me a long time to get through the heel flap and gusset because it's just not my favorite kind of heel. So I'm super tangled here. I used a mini to do the heel, and then it matches really well with the yellow stripe. They're just slightly different and you might not even be able to tell on camera. And I am about, I don't know, halfway probably through the foot. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking these around with me whenever we go anywhere pretty much, so I can get these socks finished really, really soon. Now, what I'm about to say I hope doesn't make you pause the screen, but that's pretty much all that I have worked on. I actually have done a little bit of work today, so let me just explain. So I went on my trip and got back on Monday at like midnight. Our flight had gotten delayed a lot. And then Tuesday, I just like vegged out, did some laundry, picked up our dog, and worked on my design, which is not ready to show you yet. So I have done some things, but you know, I just can't show them to you. So don't run away. I'm gonna show you a sneak peek of my crocheted shawl design. I did show you the yarn last week, so I'll show that again. This is a collaboration with Farmers, I'm crazy, Farm Girl Fibers. And it is this gorgeous color called Every Flavor Beans. And as you can see, I worked through a lot of that yarn. And I'm gonna show you a little swatch of the design in a different yarn when it was just a concept. This is how a lot of my designs start and how I want them to start, because this helps me work out a lot of the kinks and a lot of the math beforehand. So trying to find, oh, here's the right side. So this is a shawl design. It is crocheted, and you're gonna see this pattern in there. So you're gonna see some ridges created by working stitches into the back loop. I really like the simplicity of that and the texture that it creates. And then you're gonna see these super cool, really long crisscrossing stitches. This is a concept that I learned when I made a blanket in February from Bee Hooked Crochet, and I modified it to work with this yarn and this design. So I hope this is some kind of, is it consolation? I don't know what the word is I'm trying to think of. I hope this helps you not be too upset with me having not a ton to show you. But yeah, I'm really excited. The design is going really well. I am hoping to get it off to testers soon, and as soon as I have it finished and off to testers, I will show it to you and start promoting it, but it won't be out until July. So the other thing that I've been doing is working on my sock tutorials. So there are three videos out in the past couple weeks. The first video was just I think it's called sock intro, and it says materials. So the kinds of materials that you need to make or knit a pair of socks. And then there's been 2 other videos since then. These are all part of the cuff down sock series. So when you start a sock at the cuff, we just call it cuff down. And when you start the sock at the toe, you can call it toe up. Everyone has a preference, and sometimes preferences change. So it's really good to know how to do both kinds, and then or just try both kinds, and then you can choose your favorite from there. So this is the cuff down series. So what is out right now is the first video on how to cast on, and it includes my like stretchy cast on method, which is not a secret. It's just cast on over 2 needles instead of 1. You can use it on more than just socks. I use it on hats all the time. So the first video is the cast on and the cuff. The second video, since this is almost all just stockinette, it includes the leg, this little bit here, which I'll come back to in the foot. And then these markers that you're seeing, the light bulb stitch markers, are how I mark my rows. So I just have a light bulb stitch marker in every 10 rounds so that I have matching legs, matching feet on each sock. I also do this when I'm knitting sleeves. So I have matching sleeves on my sweaters. And then this right here is waste yarn. It's actually going to come out. Although some people said they actually really liked it because it kind of matches like the pink speckles in here, which was unintentional, but works out. It's going to come out and I will have the same color as the rest of the foot when I do the heel, but that's going to be a later video. So the one that I'm working on literally right now, I started it, and then when you're making a video, you show it, you say what's coming next, and then you have to go and you have to do it, and then come back and record a little more. So I'm working on the toe decreases. You can see I have like a little itsy bitsy bit of decrease right there on each side. So that's the part of the video that I'm working on currently. This is really, really simple. And my hope in creating these videos is to get people that have been afraid of making socks to see what it's all about. You don't even have to try it. Just go and watch one of the videos and see what you think. A sock is really just like at least what we've done so far, it's like a hat. So if you've ever knit a hat, you have this. You have the brim of the hat, which is the cuff of the sock. This is all stockinette. Even this is stockinette. So just knitting or knitting and purling for this part. And then at the end here, we're decreasing. We're doing knit two together and slip, slip, knit. And that's like the top part of your hat. The crown, like the crown decreases. It's like a hat. You can totally do it. Now, what we're gonna do here at the end of the toe is called Kitchener. Some people are scared of that, but don't worry, I'll walk you through how to do that. And then this part here, you pick these stitches up and then you do the exact same kind of decreases as at the toe. So if you are worried about ever knitting a sock, like don't be afraid, go watch the videos and see what you think. See if you're interested in still trying it. I think you're gonna find it's a lot easier than you've been building it up. Also, since I've been recording these videos for a little while, they've been taking some time because I'm not just knitting a sample, I'm actually knitting a full sock. And so I've been doing it for like over a month, and there's already so many things I want to change about the way I recorded it, but it's already done and it's out there, and I think it'll still be helpful. But I think it's just one of those things, like when I started podcasting, you have to make some like not so great podcasts before you get more into your groove. You have to make some, when you're designing, you have to make some like not so great patterns, and then before you can get to like making the good ones. Like you can't just be born an adult and just come out and make all the great things. So I think that's what I'm learning from these sock videos. So after I finish cuff down, I'm gonna be going to the toe up videos. So hopefully those will be even better than the cuff down. But I appreciate any of your kind and considerate feedback. Privately is always really nice. If you have questions, put them on YouTube or message me on Instagram. I am so happy to help. That's what I'm here for. I want you to be able to knit some socks. So next time you see this, probably gonna be finished because I wanna get those tutorials ready. And the next one for the toe is coming on Tuesday. All right, I'm gonna bring my sock project back out because now I'm gonna talk about Disney. So, here's my explanation again of why I didn't get much knitting done. So I brought my socks, my upsets and downfalls socks, with me to the Disney parks, and I had them so that I could knit on them while we're waiting in line. And that just didn't happen for a few reasons. One, I brought my socks in a place where I had to like look at my pattern. I was doing the toe of one sock and I was ready to start doing the gusset of the other. That's just not a good point to have your sock in when you want to knit in public. I really like it when it's on just the plain old foot or the plain old leg, and my socks were just not there. And then we'd get home so late every night, I wouldn't have a chance to get it to a good place. So that's one reason. that I wasn't really working on it a lot. The other is that it rained like crazy. So I have something to share about that too in a second. And then the third reason is that I had a new activity to occupy me, and that is I started playing a game. You might have heard of it. It's called Pokemon Go. And about a month ago, my husband and I saw the Detective Pikachu movie, which is really, really cute. And then he got back into playing that Pokemon Go game, which you play on your phone. And so he said, do you want to try it? I'm like, no, I don't really like playing games on my phone. I knit, right? That's what I do to entertain myself when I'm waiting or in the car. And he let me try it on his phone, and I thought, okay, I'll try it with him because it gets us out walking and we both need the exercise. So I started playing and it was so much fun. So whenever we had some downtime at Disney, we were actually walking around the parks as fast as we could to catch as many Pokemon and go to these things called Pokestops, where you go to different like specific areas to earn things, items. So yeah, that took up a lot of my time. So if you are someone who likes to play Pokemon Go, and you want to be my friend, I am in need of some friends on Pokemon Go. I actually have a quest right now to make 3 new friends, and I always like to send my gifts to people, and it's really fun if like I live here in Texas and all of my items are from Texas. And if you live somewhere else, it's kind of fun to see like where they're from. So I know this is probably losing a bunch of people, but maybe there's a few of you out there. So if you want to be friends on Pokemon Go, please message me on Instagram and we can share our trainer codes. I'm obsessed. But anyway, I did get to take my knitting into the park, so it was always with me if I wanted it. And that is very much thanks to Molly of Molly Klein Designs, who sent me this needle cozy. So last time I was at Disney, I had you have to go through security, and they open up your bags and kind of feel around, make sure that everything you're bringing in is safe. And one time on one day, somebody decided that my knitting needles were not safe. So many of you suggested a needle cozy, and it totally worked. So I just kept my needles in here, and then strategically, I would take the yarn out of my bag. I would put the needles at like the very, very bottom, like that. So not only were they protected, but they were also at the bottom. Then I'd put my sock, then I'd put my yarn. So when you looked in here, it was like not at all threatening, nothing shiny metal. And even if you felt it, you really couldn't feel anything. That totally worked every time. No problems whatsoever. So that's really good news. And then one other thing I want to say about Disney is to help you if you're going on a trip there soon. Actually have so many tips and other things if you ever want to discuss going to Disney World or Disneyland. I've been to both recently. I'm happy to strike up that conversation with you privately because that can get into a lot. But this is one thing that I learned. The last time we went in March, we were there for a week. It didn't rain a single day at all. This time it rained every single day for a few minutes at a time, but like downpour. So my tip for you, if you're going to Disney in Florida in the near future, is to be prepared for the rain in these ways. 1, get yourself a reusable poncho. It's worth the like $15 to get one that you can use over and over again instead of like the clingy film ones that are smaller, shorter, flimsier, and just don't cover you as well. We would take ours home every day and like lay them out so they would dry and reuse them, and they were great. The other thing is to make sure you have like a pair of flip-flops or some kind of shoes that dry. So let's say we would get on a ride and when we came off, all of a sudden it was pouring rain, we would actually take off our tennis shoes and socks and I would tie them to the outside of my bag, put my poncho on over it, and wear my flip-flops so that even though my feet and shoes got wet, they weren't shoes that weren't gonna dry. I wasn't wearing socks, and when I did get the opportunity to be dry, I could put my dry shoes and socks back on. And I also had extra socks and really a whole set of clothes because when it wasn't raining, it was blisteringly hot and humid. So yeah, it was a lot of weather for me. But yeah, and I think the last thing was mentally to prepare for it to rain. We're very fortunate we have purchased annual passes, so it doesn't matter if we go to the park for 5 minutes or all day. It counts the same for us. So if we get there and it starts to rain and we want to leave, we're not like wasting our ticket for the day. If you are someone who is only there for a couple days, like it can be devastating when it starts to rain and then all of the outdoor rides shut down and you don't get to do what you wanted. Or if you're only there for a couple days and it rains and you're not prepared and it's 10 o'clock in the morning and you're soaked already. So I don't know, I think Disney is like the most fun place ever and I want everyone to have a good time. So prepare yourself for the rain and you will be able to maximize your experience. And if you want to talk about anything else, I think that our family is especially good at riding a lot of rides. So I can give you, and not waiting very long. So I can give you lots of tips on that as well. Okay. I think that's it. I'm gonna get back to working on my sock knitting tutorial, so it'll be out to you on Tuesday. And I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.